Hello, everybody. So today we discuss the dialectic of being, nothing, and the becoming in Hegel's logic. This is analysis of a first chapter in Hegel's Science of Logic. First one, transformation of the logic in German idealism. The logic of Hegel means metaphysics or ontology. His logic, so to speak, the logic of being, that is, the being itself is logical by Hegel. In other words, the world is logical. Therefore, his philosophy is called panlogismus. There are a couple of versions of Hegel's logic, among which today we deal the science of logic in German Wissenschaftler Logik. Traditional logic or formal logic is said to express the forms of thought, among which syllogism is a famous one. For example, humans are mortal, Socrates is human, therefore Socrates is mortal. If we don't follow this rule, we fall into fallacy. Immanuel Kant transformed the formal logic into transcendental logic, that is epistemology. Kant deduced the categories of the understanding from the forms of the logical judgment. Fichte tried to deduce systematically categories of the understanding from his principle of the ego and the non-ego. Catch up with the concept of the transition, movement, opposition, and the contradiction of categories. However, he could not totally overcome the principles of the general logic, that is, principle of the contradiction and identity. The merit of Hegel is actually the sublation of contradiction and identity. He affirmed the concept of negation and the contradiction. He asserted that negation and the contradiction are the roots of being. It is the birth of the modern dialectic. Second chapter, the start of Hegel's logic, pure being. Hegel assumed the beginning of science as the notion of being. The notion of being has been enormously important from the ancient ages. Therefore, the central part of philosophy has been called ontology, that is, science of being. The characteristic of Hegel's ontology is that we can see according as we know. Hegel represents the sensible, the material as being. Therefore, the first part of his logic, being, deals with the materials, spatial, exterior beings. The sensation is the same as intuition. It is Anschauung in German. It is merely seeing and hearing. However, the problem is that the sensational intuition is blind without corresponding concepts. Let us see the below image. You can see the image. Image 1. We can see that this image is Wi-Fi. However, there is another image like below. Let's look at the picture, image 2. This image is not to be understood without the needed knowledge. This is image of the picture of the phantom limb. Phantom limb is a psychological illness. It is a pain in the missing arm or leg, which can be only explained through the brain science. There is a saying in Korean that we can see things according as we know. We cannot see if we don't know. From this perspective, Hegel says pure being is the same as pure nothing. That is, an intuition or sensation is nothing if knowledge or concept doesn't follow it. The knowledge or concept involved in sensation or intuition is called determination, Bestimmung in German, by Hegel. Being is fundamentally sensation, matter, space, or body. However, these things are empty without accompanying thought. Pure being or pure sensation is void of its content by Hegel. Likewise, the founder of Western philosophy, Aristotle, caught up with the first matter or phile, which has no concepts, forms in his terminology. Without knowledge, concept, or idea, we cannot see things. Even if we can see things, we cannot know things. For example, if we don't have an ideas of the color, line, or direction of a right and left, we cannot see things. Seeing is indeed knowing. Intuition goes with cognition. Without these ideas or knowledge, which are inherent or acquired, the world is like a total darkness. This is the genuine meaning of nothingness by Hegel. He says as follows: pure light and pure darkness are two voids that amount to same thing. Hegel, The Science of Logic, page 69. In this regard, the category of the being moves on to that of nothingness. Pure being is not different from pure nothingness. The indeterminate being is intuition without concept. Here, Hegel's text. There is nothing to be intuited in it. If one can speak of here of intuiting, or it is only this pure empty intuiting itself. Just as there literally isn't anything to be thought in it, or it is equally only this empty thinking, being the indeterminate immediate is in fact nothing and neither more nor less than nothing. Hegel, Science of Logic, page 59. Intuition, the concept by Immanuel Kant. Hegel, the thought of pure nothingness as pure being, originated, however, from Kant's principle that is objective knowledge is intuition plus concept. Kant formulated the slogan of the epistemology in the Critique of Pure Reason. Thought without the content are empty, intuition without concepts are blind. Critique of Pure Reason, B, 76. Hegel applied the latter part of Kant's slogan to his logic. He ignored the former part of the slogan, that is, thought without contents are empty. Thought without content are same as concepts without intuition. They mean only subjective imaginary concepts. For example, unicorn, diamond, mountain, or round scale. These things have no corresponding intuition or sensation. The truth is therefore the movement of the immediate vanishing of the one into the other, becoming a movement in which the two are distinguished, but by a distinction which just as immediately dissolved itself. Hegel, The Science of Logic, page 60. This is a typical dialectical statement of Hegel. Becoming is a movement of the immediate vanishing of the one into the other. According to Hegel, pure being was intuition or sensation without determination, without thought. Without thought or concept, we cannot see anything. Therefore, pure being was blindness, nothingness. Pure being is pure nothingness. However, the distinction of being and nothingness is not to be deleted. Hegel wants to define his dialectical thought as identity of identity and non-identity. Identität, that's Identition and non-Identition in German. Thank you very much. This is the end of the lecture. See you next time.